All right, Brian, appreciate you joining us. Well, every monsoon we are told that the rains were unexpected. Every year we hear promises of better drains, safer roads, stronger infrastructure and disaster preparedness. Yet every year the same tragic headlines return. Children drown in water-logged pits, commuters are electrocuted in flooded streets, trees collapse on moving vehicles and families lose loved ones, not because of a natural disaster alone, but because of human negligence. Look at the stories that have shaken the country. 7-year-old Rehan stepped out of his home in Delhi's Samepur Badli to relieve himself. He never came back. His body was found in a waterlogged pit, left exposed in a residential area. In Ghaziabad, 3-year-old Manvi slipped into accumulated rainwater outside her home and drowned. In Mumbai, young Vihan lost his life after a tree crashed onto his school van during heavy rains. And Rajni Sharma was electrocuted after electricity from a transformer leaked into rainwater, turning an ordinary street into a deadly trap. These are not isolated accidents. They are symptoms of a deeper civic collapse. Open pits without barricades, clogged drains, neglected trees, exposed electrical infrastructure, and poor urban planning continue to claim innocent lives. The monsoon may be an act of nature, but these deaths are often the result of preventable failures. That is why our campaign asks who's accountable for them, who answers to the parents who never saw their children return home, who is responsible when taxpayers pay for infrastructure that fails at the first spell of heavy rain, and why does accountability disappear once the headlines fade? The contrast is impossible to ignore. In the heart of Lutyens' Delhi, roads are maintained, drains are cleared, and civic systems receive constant attention. Yet in areas like Samepur Badli and countless neighborhoods across India, residents continue to navigate flooded roads, exposed hazards and crumbling infrastructure. Should a child's chance of survival depend on the locality they were born in? Hence, Every Life Matters, a campaign that asks a question from our netas: don't Indians deserve better? Let's talk about this. Joining us on the program is Mr. Dilip Cherian, Image Guru, Shamshavish Rain, Advocate, Supreme Court, Dr. Harish Tripathi, Architect, also with us on the broadcast. Mr. Cherian, I'll begin with you. Well, just to give you an example and a context, right now nobody is talking about the AQI because it's okay, it's not that bad. It's still bad, but it's not at a level which could kill you. People are talking about rains and people are talking about what it has done to our infrastructure. We pay crores of rupees in taxes. Roads cave in, the traffic is not maintained, there is no law and order. You don't see a traffic cop in Delhi NCR and a lot of other cities after 7 p.m. You can commit a crime in the open in some of these areas without even worrying that there's anybody who's going to stop you, because there is no force, there is no law and order. But the rains, when they come, they bring their own set of dismal realities. Viksit Bharat by 2047, it's 2026 already. Do you think it's a distant dream that India is chasing after?
Very definitely a distant dream, and it is a structural problem. We have no real concerted effort to make our urban centers into places of convenience where citizens can exist, can develop, can do business, can travel. Unfortunately, the large number of authorities is one part of the problem. And the second part of the problem is what you alluded to at the start, citizen apathy, which is partially because of total helplessness with the system and knowing that nothing they do makes a difference to those in positions of governance.
Okay. Shamshavish, if you're there with us. Shamshavish, if you can hear me. Yeah. Well, there seems to be a problem with your connection. Let me bring in Dr. Harish Tripathi into this conversation as well. Dr. Tripathi, I don't even know what to ask you. It's an infrastructure problem. It's a problem that has existed. What is the excuse that politicians and administrators have? Germany was destroyed in the 1910s. It was destroyed again in the 1940s. It erected itself within a couple of decades and became one of the strongest economies. A lesser area, lesser resources, but more efficiency in planning. India has been free for almost 80 years now. Why can't we get this right? And if you say the population is the problem, then of course you have the example of China. They did it despite their population, and they did it when their population was higher than India.
You are right. In fact, what happens from the government side, holistic kind of solution, which is desired to solve the situation, that is never done. It is always patchwork. And in fact, even the development of the cities, these cities, especially we talk about NCR cities, maybe Gurgaon, maybe Noida, maybe Delhi. It has, it is some kind of organic development kind of thing is there. In Gurgaon, only PPP model has been there. So some developer developed this area, other developer developed that area. So there is no uniform kind of system that could be evolved. And we are always looking for solutions in the piecemeal system. And one more thing is there. Overall design or construction is one issue. Second issue, important issue is we in the maintenance part. I mean, we are as a country, we are able to make a good infrastructure, maybe good buildings or something. But the kind of we never think of the kind of maintenance mandate is there. So that part is so poor that once things become in a critical stage, only then we start doing something about it. Instead of having some kind of defined protocol which has a mandate, okay, within this you will do this, within this you will do this, and everything is right every day. So that is not the situation. What happens in case of failure of this array, all these drains and at the rainy time, we only at the time of June, government suddenly it starts doing a number of things, but there is nothing, no program throughout the year so that things can be handled. And second thing is, after all, whatever we are doing, unless and until we at the macro level, if things are not done, everything matters, but those things are really important. And like I'll give you example in Gurgaon, there is a at the Bahadurpur, the drain from 300 meters it goes to 100 meters. So unless that is the bottleneck kind of situation. So unless and until largest things are handled, we cannot solve the problem. That is one. And all other things where people can be involved. People are not really serious. We have been doing a lot of projects, but like everybody talks about rainwater harvesting, everybody understand we should do it, but everybody wants that I should not do it, others should do it. So he will not be serious about things. He will try to go for shortcuts to show the authority. So that part, even as residents, we are missing. So unless and until we work, each from micro level to macro level, at every stage, if we put the efforts, only then we can solve this problem. Otherwise, every year, like you give the example of the pollution, same thing will keep on happening every year.
Sham Shavish, if you're there with us. Okay. Mr. Cherin, coming back to you. Well, it's a problem that can be solved. We've already established that. But do you think that the citizens are also at fault? Because, our voices are more of a reaction rather than a continuous campaign to, pressurize politicians and hold them accountable, to give us better infrastructure and better civic amenities. But I guess, there are so many problems in India throughout the year and seasonal problems that it's difficult to even get started on which ones to approach politicians for. Pollution has been a constant factor when it comes to Delhi NCR. Roads have been a constant factor when it comes to Delhi, even Mumbai now for that matter. You saw what happened to the missing link also. We're spending thousands and thousands of crores of rupees. Who is supposed to bite the bullet when it comes to these mistakes? It's always the citizen that seems to be biting the bullet and not the politician. I don't remember anybody getting fired for this tree falling on this boy. I don't remember anybody getting fired for somebody getting electrocuted because of heavy rains in Delhi NCR.
The answer is perhaps slightly unconventional. I think it's time that we had a direct form of election for city mayors. So city mayors at this point of time are non-elected, non-powerful people with no responsibilities. I think we need to recognize that globally, cities have grown because they have one leader. We need to get the politicians who are in charge of the state and those in charge of the federal government out of the business. We need to make sure that there is one person who is directly elected by the citizens of the city to make sure that that person then is empowered to do these things and is held accountable if things go wrong. The second thing is what was alluded to a little while ago. We need town planners who can do systems thinking. You can't improve the drains unless you make sure that rainwater harvesting is happening elsewhere. You can't improve rainwater harvesting unless you have the technology made available to everybody to be able to participate in that process. You can't get more trees unless rainwater harvesting allows you to water the trees that you are attempting to grow. You can't get pollution down unless you get more trees. So there needs to be a systems thinking to solve the macro problems. Many of the cities today have adequate taxation capabilities. You need to have an directly elected mayor, not somebody who is fighting via corporators who are fighting on party symbols, etc. You need to have a mayor who has the job of making an urban agglomeration, otherwise called a city, into something that is livable and has a future built into it for its citizens. The problem is multiple levels of control and resources and a huge leakage which happens and no punishments are visible. So if you have this kind of a system, which I think it's time that India recognizes that we are becoming a rapidly urbanized society and economy. So we need to rethink how cities are governed. And I think even if the suggestion sounds a little more drastic, unless we look for drastic solutions like this, we will not be able to solve the problem. The problem today is passing the buck. And we need to recognize that happens because there is not a single line of command that we need.
Mr. Tripathi, solutions according to you. I read a quote the other day which resonated well with me, that democracy is the only system in which you can never talk to the person you vote for.
Solutions, as well as solutions are concerned, I think role of government or governance or whatever you call, like Cherian Sahab was saying, that is really important because what happens as well as these solutions are concerned, there is a micro item to it and there is a macro. So, and eventually macro things, they are really important, and those things can be done by the government only. Any individual or any group of people, they are not able to do it because of all the uh, financial issues as well as legal issues or so many other things. So, government has real role in this, and they should also. What is happening? Uh, Earlier in Delhi, these drains they were planned some 50 years ago, and at that time, even rain capacity was considered as 50 only uh, in 24 hours. Now, these days, it is crossing more than this. So, entire overhaul has to be done, and unless and until entire overhaul is done, uh, we will not get any kind of solution, and uh, that is true for all other cities also. I mean, every city has a peculiar situation, and it has a peculiar holistic solution. So unless and until government is putting consolidated effort to really solve this problem, it cannot be solved.
All right,
And
fair enough.
obviously, whatever other things there should be cleaning of drains or cleaning of drains or rainwater harvesting, and so those are obviously they also matter, but larger efforts will yield better results
All right, so we've run
than
out of time,
doing.
but I appreciate your thoughts. Thank you so much, Mr. Cherry and Ms.